Hey guys, it's Drummond. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down there and turn on your notification bell so you know whenever I'm posting my next video. So today's video is obviously being shot from a different location. For any of you that have watched any of my Instagram live videos, you know that this is my office, my second home during this crazy pandemic that we are living through. Today, I wanted to do a video talking about New Year's resolutions. It's January 2021. We all had a crazy 2020, whether it impacted us financially, whether it impacted us health-wise, or in so many other different ways. But I wanted to kind of talk about some New Year's resolutions that I have for myself, some ways that you can kind of stick to your own New Year's resolutions because, hey, I'm a life coach, and I mean, part of being a life coach is kind of helping people stick to the goals that they set for themselves. So first off, I want to talk about some of the New Year's resolutions and plans that I have for myself this year. And honestly, after 2020, I have set some awesome goals for myself because I learned a lot from 2020. And I definitely did a lot of growing, and whether that was my platforms growing or self-growth in general. So one of my personal goals for myself this year is my fitness. And I'm not one of those people that want to be extremely buff and compete in those types of things, but I do want to look at my body and feel comfortable with the way that I look. And something amazing happened yesterday, actually. I signed up for a program through Ashley Parker Angel. And for any of you guys that know O-Town from way back in the day, like, he was honestly like one of my biggest boy crushes. Even back when I was in the closet, he reached out to me about a program that he is running for fitness, and it's a 12-week program that I am super excited about. Honestly, I've tried so many different things to keep myself on a fitness plan, and honestly, none of them have really ever worked for me, mainly because I don't hate my body. So when I look in the mirror, there's days where I kind of pick it apart, but then there's other days where I'm like, you know what, it's not that bad. So for me, fitness is something that I kind of get through hiking and kayaking and all those different types of things. I'm not really a big gym person. And for those of you that are gym people, well, the pandemic kind of messed that up for a lot of people, especially people in the bigger cities. So I'm going to be working with him, which I feel like is going to be a huge motivator for me, just because, I mean, he is still someone that I have crushed on hardcore. And when it comes to my fitness, I feel like when I've got someone holding me accountable, especially someone that I really do look up to as one, an artist, as a person, as a fitness person, like, I feel like this is going to be the extra push that I needed. Second off, I am starting my own Patreon account, which my fitness journey is one of the small parts that I'm going to be sharing on Patreon. So for any of you guys that are interested in getting closer to me as a creator, I'm going to be leaving a link down below to join my Patreon. There's so many things that I'm going to be doing with my Patreon account. I can only tell you a little bit right now because there's a lot of things in the works and I'm super excited about it. One of the main reasons that I'm starting this Patreon account is that I realize that there's a lot of people now that want to have that a little bit closer access to me as a content creator. And those types of things take up a lot of time. And time is money. And for me, I was like, you know what? Maybe if I start off on a Patreon account with like a low subscription price, it would be great for the people who actually are serious about contacting me as a creator and supporting the stuff that I do online, because it takes a lot of time. And honestly, this office is not my YouTube office, not my influencer office. This is my corporate job that I have. And for me, honestly, a lot of the time that I've been spending on creating content for all my platforms that I have cuts into my sleep and my personal time with my friends and a lot of other things as well. So for me, I've decided that I'm going to start to move and make a shift over to Patreon as a platform that I'm going to use to make a little bit of income for the content that I am creating, which hopefully all of you guys will go over and support, because I love the idea of being able to create a close-knit community where we can kind of get a little bit more personal. I will be uploading videos that are going to be a little bit more of my daily life. You're going to see some of my friends that aren't really on my other platforms, maybe in a few pictures here and there on Instagram, But for the most part, my Patreon is going to be a little bit more zoomed into my personal life, whereas my YouTube is kind of going to be topics that I choose to do videos on, where my Instagram is going to be a little bit more of just like snapshots of my life, as well as my Instagram lives that I'm going to be doing as well. Another really big thing that I am working on in 2021 is the fact that I am ready to move. I am ready to not live in the middle of nowhere where you're going to struggle with finding cell phone service, internet service that you can actually use to do stuff online. And for me personally, I was kind of reflecting back on 2020 and 2019 and 2018 when I lived here. And I was like, a lot of the stress that I have in my life is because when I'm home, my productivity is really low because I don't have cell phone service. I don't have internet at home. So for me, once I'm home, it's just like, okay, your options are very limited. Your productivity is going to be very minimum. And I was like, I think that I would thrive if I lived in a bigger city. Granted, during a pandemic, moving to a bigger city might be a mistake. But for me personally, I need to be in a place where I am surrounded by people who are a little bit more like-minded like myself. Being an entrepreneur in a small rural area, you kind of stand out, but you're kind of there by yourself. And I want to be able to start to build a community of entrepreneurs and friends that are as driven as I am when it comes to running your own business and working for yourself. So I'm looking into moving in 2021. I have been focusing really hard on that since January 1st, and I've found a couple places. Thankfully, everything I do right now is so virtual, so the sky's the limit when it comes to where I can move right now. And I've been looking to do it with my youngest sister because her and I are super close and very like-minded, and honestly, I just feel like it would be a perfect fit for this next stage in my life. But yeah, those are some of my New Year's resolutions that I've come up with for myself. Honestly, as a life coach, I am going to tell you that New Year's resolutions really aren't something that I really like, just because I feel like New Year's resolutions is just an excuse for people to keep pushing back change that they should do right now, today. You shouldn't have to wait until January 1st. Honestly, I've said multiple times that my New Year's isn't going to start until January 21st when Biden is sworn in as president. But for me personally, I think that when it comes to making change in your life, it's really important that you take small steps into things so that when it comes to the changes that you make in your daily life, it doesn't completely disrupt everything that you're already doing. Because when it comes to large disruptions in your life, usually your life will try to push them out because it's creating chaos and order, and naturally we don't enjoy chaos. Granted, for me personally, the adrenaline that I get when chaos kind of comes into my life, I guess it's self-made chaos. I would much prefer chaos that I've created when I've decided to make personal changes versus the pandemic versus everything else that happened in 2020. I think it's really good to get comfortable with change and chaos and the unknown, because honestly, even the things that we think are solid, even the things that we think are going to be there permanently can change in a minute. I mean, our health, that's something that we have to realize and be thankful for every day, because at any point that can be taken away from us. When it comes to marriages, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to anything, there's nothing that is for certain. So we find comfort in order, but if you realize there's nothing that's really guaranteed, so it's better to find comfort in chaos than it is to find comfort in order, because order can change at any point without us having any control over it. So towards the end of December, I actually took off work from my office job and spent a lot of time on creating a schedule that was a little bit more fluid and a little bit more open, so that I could be a little bit more creative and so that I could open up more slots for life coaching clients of my own. So for 2021, I have opened up several slots to accept some new clients into my life coaching program, which I am super excited about, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that watch my content, that follow me on my platforms, and are really inspired by the stuff that I put out there. And I want to be able to express my gratitude for all of those people out there that have really been supporting me through everything that I have been taking on in life. And that's why I've decided to open up some slots for people who are interested in working with me as a life coach. I've posted some stuff on my Instagram about resolution coaching, and honestly, this is something that I wanted to start right at the beginning of the year because I know that a lot of people did wait until January 1st to create New Year's resolutions for themselves. And I am always supportive of people who are interested in creating change in their life to push them towards their goals. So if you are interested in working with me as a life coach, feel free to send me an email. I'll leave the email down below, and I'll also be leaving the link for all my other social medias down below so that you guys can follow me across all my platforms. I produce different content for all the different platforms because I do believe that I've got a little bit of a different audience on each platform, but my Patreon will be going live on Monday. I have set that as the date for launch. So for any of you guys that are interested, feel free to follow that link below on Monday. It will be there, I promise. And hopefully you guys are having a great start to 2021. I know that things have been hectic, but hopefully things are moving in the right direction. If you don't see the positive changes that you are hoping to see in 2021, make sure that you are making every effort to be that change yourself, because I've learned that if the people that I follow and look up to aren't out there making the changes that I want to see, then maybe it's my space to make those changes for the world. But thank you so much for watching this video and supporting me on all my endeavors as a creator, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.